amendments to reduce the confidential and intelligence funds and bring the amount, kung pwede, to reduce the total budget deficit, kung hindi, bring the amounts to items which are needed by our people. Meron naman tayong mga security agencies, sir. We will concede their need for confidential and intelligence funds. DND, Army, Air Force, Navy, AFP GHQ. We have NICA. We have NSC. Maybe
The confidential and intelligence funds are also part which contribute an expenditure which also contributes to security, which I suppose is the bedrock for prosperity, Your Honor.
security. So, if we concede that concept, Mr. President, we can still reduce our confidential and intelligence funds and limit this to so-called security agencies or security-related agencies, Mr. President.
Well, I think what is good about the intelligence and confidential funds, Your Honor, is the flexibility they provide. That the head of agency has the flexibility to decide what is the contingency they intend to meet or what is the need that must be met. If we decide to put it in a more specific line item, there is no more budget flexibility, Your Honor.
And then dito po sa aming research, nakita namin na may tatlo na bibigyan kasi na bago na confidential funds. Bago in the sense na wala silang confidential funds noong 2022, itong taon na ito. Maybe decades ago, once upon a time, pwede nagkaroon ng confidential fund itong ahensyang ito, but that's no longer in our modern memory, Mr. President. Ito po, tatlo po ang agencies with new confidential funds na kung pwede, wag nang umpisahan o wag na umpisahan muli. Kasi pag naumpisahan, ang hirap pintuin eh. Paulit-ulit na po. Pag umpisahan natin yan, nagiging floor amount pa yan. And then every year na, parang commitment na. We have the OVP, Office of the Vice President, 500 million pesos confidential funds. We have the Department of Education, 150 million pesos in confidential funds. And the third one, surprisingly, we have the OSG, 19.2 million pesos in confidential funds. DBM can correct me if I am wrong. But siguro, Mr. President, pwedeng pakiusap dito sa mga ito na huwag nang umpisahan yung practice. Through how many years? Wala naman silang confidential funds. Umpisahan nila yung bagong practice. Hirap na pong pigilan yan pag naumpisahan na.
I was informed by the DBM, Your Honor, Secretary Pangandaman and Yusek Kanda, who was the OIC in the previous administration, that these three agencies, all at one point in their existence, had these funds at their disposal, Your Honor.
Maybe mga 20 years ago. Tama po ba? Meron yata yung...
Maybe a little less, Your Honor.
10 years ago. Yeah. My memory serves me right. Yeah. Si OVP siguro 10 years ago.
Around 10 to 11 years
10 to 11 years ago. At the maximum amount of 5 million, 6 million pesos, parang ganun. So if it's that the practice that I'm pointing out, I'm pointing out the amount, the practice of the enormous amount, Mr. President.
Well, perhaps the amounts seem enormous to us, Your Honor, but I suppose we should also take it in perspective that the budgets are also growing. So when we compare it to previous amounts, there was a smaller budget then. So relative to the total budget, that amount perhaps is on the same level, Your Honor.